dangerous situations to women and girls.
The Justice Department and the FDA dispute the claims in the Texas lawsuit and say the FDA has rigorously reviewed mifepristone's safety and effectiveness repeatedly since it was first approved 23 years ago. More than 5 million women in the U.S. have used the medication. Vice President Kamala Harris says a ruling that weakens FDA's authority would create chaos in the prescription drug market.
Arguably, what they're doing with mifepristone could happen to any one of those drugs in your medicine cabinet.
After more than 2 weeks with mifepristone in legal limbo, some states are stockpiling the drug, including Oregon.
Stockpiling is never our first choice. It's a backup option for extreme situations, which this is.
President Biden says he stands by the FDA's authority to authorize prescription drugs like mifepristone, and the White House is promising to fight against challenges to abortion access. Adriana?
Willie, thank you. The Pentagon is speeding up plans to train Ukrainian troops on American-made Abrams battle tanks. Nearly 36 of the tanks are expected in Germany by the end of May. As CBS's Holly Williams reports, they are the latest firepower destined for Ukraine, aimed at repelling Russia's invasion, now in its 14th month.
Through dense forest in eastern Ukraine, down muddy tracks, we were taken to see something hidden amongst the trees. An entire battalion of Ukraine's 3rd Tank Brigade, known as the Iron Brigade. Their machines are well camouflaged, so they can't be spotted by Russian drones.
This one's a 1980s era tank. It's pretty old technology.
They're not state-of-the-art. These are all Soviet-made tanks more than 3 decades old. But they allow the Ukrainians to penetrate deep into territory occupied by Russia.
You can hit something 12 kilometers, that's 8 miles away.
Vladimir is a tank commander who told us he used to serve in the Soviet army alongside Russian comrades back when Ukraine was part of the USSR. Now the Russians are his enemy. Ukraine's new friends, the US and its European allies, are sending more capable modern tanks, including 31 Abrams from America expected later this year. Ukraine's government calls tanks the punching fist of democracy. For Vladimir, the Abrams can't come soon enough. My parents lived here, my children live here, my grandchildren live here, Vladimir told us. This is our land. Holly Williams, CBS News in eastern Ukraine.
And it's an end to a maritime mystery. A Japanese ship sunk by a U.S. submarine during World War II has been found on the ocean floor off the coast of the Philippines. The Montevideo Maru was carrying more than 1,000 prisoners of war, most of them Australians, when it was torpedoed in July of 1942. None of the POWs survived. The ship wasn't marked as carrying prisoners. The wreck was found at a depth of 13,000 feet, deeper than even the Titanic's watery grave. Today is Earth Day, which was founded in 1970 to increase public awareness about the environment. Now it is a movement marked by millions around the globe fighting a long list of threats to the Earth, including trouble in the water, where Elise Preston is in Long Beach, California. Elise, good evening.
Adriana, good evening to you. 53 years since Earth Day started, many say there's still plenty that needs to be done to fix our planet. They point to things happening now as proof.
On this Earth Day, Southern California residents are flocking to the parks and the shores. But for many beachgoers in Los Angeles County, taking a dip in the ocean is not an option. On Thursday, 250,000 gallons of raw sewage spilled into the LA River and traveled downstream, forcing 7 miles of Pacific beaches to close.
That is very sad. And I hope people respect the sign.
From contaminated water to severe flooding, Utah's record snowpack continues to melt, triggering floods and landslides like this one that cause houses to collapse overnight. And in the Midwest, the Mississippi River is still rising due to increased rain and melting snow, inundating neighborhoods. Environmental activists around the world blame the unusual weather patterns on climate change. And they say lawmakers are not doing enough to stop it.
It is really important. It is our future.
From peaceful protests to ancient rituals to planting trees, like this event in New York City, people doing their part to protect the planet.
Mother Earth is here, is going to continue to be a part of who we are, and we have to ensure that we give it the treatment that she deserves.
Now back here in Long Beach, despite posted warnings, many are still getting in the water. Public health officials will continue to monitor the water quality at these beaches, which will continue to be closed until midweek. A sour note on Earth Day. Adriana?
Still getting in the water. Wow, Elise Preston, thank you. To a soccer pitch now in Wales and to a Hollywood ending. Actors Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney shed tears of joy after their Wrexham Soccer Club won the National League title today. The team, a perennial loser for years, beat Boreham Wood 3-1 with fans swarming the field. Wrexham's football club, made successful again with the actors' ownership and investment, is now promoted into the English Football League for the first time in 15 years. Tonight, tributes are pouring in for comedian Barry Humphries, more famously known as Dame Edna.
Because I am going to be the maid of honor. People keep saying,
from her lilac hair to those cat-eye glasses to her outrageous humor, Dame Edna charmed millions for nearly 70 years. Humphries died today in Sydney, Australia, from complications following a hip transplant. Barry Humphries was 89 years old. Straight ahead on the CBS Weekend News, moms rally after an especially dangerous week for kids. And later, a major U.S. city raises the volume on the Muslim call to prayer.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people like Sam who make
everyday products designed smarter.
Like a smart coffee grinder
that orders fresh beans for you.
Oh, genius. For more breakthroughs like that,
I need a breakthrough card.
Like ours, with 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more.
Plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases.
And with greater spending potential, Sam can keep making smart ideas
a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
Known as a loving parent. Known for lessons that matter. Known for being a free spirit. No one wants to be known for cancer, but a treatment can be. Keytruda is known to treat cancer, FDA approved for 16 types of cancer. One of those cancers is advanced non-squamous, non-small cell lung cancer, where Keytruda is approved to be used with certain chemotherapies as your first treatment if you do not have an abnormal EGFR or ALK gene.
Keytruda can cause your immune system to attack healthy parts of your body during or after treatment. This may be severe and lead to death. See your doctor right away if you have cough, shortness of breath, chest pain, diarrhea, severe stomach pain, severe nausea or vomiting, headache, light sensitivity, eye problems, irregular heartbeat, extreme tiredness, constipation, dizziness or fainting, changes in appetite, thirst or urine, confusion, memory problems, muscle pain or weakness, fever, rash, itching or flushing. There may be other side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions, including immune system problems. If you've had or plan to have an organ or stem cell transplant, receive chest radiation, or have a nervous system problem.
Depending on the type of cancer, Keytruda may be used alone or in combination with other treatments, and is also being studied in hundreds of clinical trials exploring ways to treat even more types of cancer. It's true. Keytruda from Merck. See all the types of cancer Keytruda is known for at Keytruda.com and ask your doctor if Keytruda could be right for you.
With Allegra, we live life our way. Allergies don't hold us back. Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin. And unlike Zyrtec, it won't make us drowsy. Allegra lasts all day, up to 6 times longer than Benadryl. Allegra gives you the fastest, non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief, so you can live your greatness.
It's been yet another week where gun violence has dominated news coverage across America. There are more than 433 million firearms in civilian possession nationwide, according to a firearm industry trade association. That means there are roughly 100 million more guns in the U.S. than there are people. In Kansas City, where a teen was recently shot after ringing the wrong doorbell, we spoke to mothers who say the fear of gun violence is unbearable.
It may not be our kids, but it's going to be someone's kids, and that hurts just as much.
Sarah Ennis, Anna Simpson, Annie Knoll, and Eileen Knobloch are suburban Kansas City moms who say if they don't speak up, they're part of the problem.
So many women out here today, this was their first protest. This was my first protest. They'd never done anything like this, and it felt scary and uncomfortable. And we want other moms like us to get uncomfortable a little bit.
That's why just 3 weeks ago, after the Nashville school shooting, they created Lives on the Line, a group stretching across district, state, and party lines demanding an end to gun violence.
We don't have enough white people who are willing to stand up and say, this is not right.
Because we know that Black children and LGBT people are affected by gun violence at a much higher level.
Yeah. A recent CBS News poll showed that 61% of parents say their children are worried about gun violence.
My 8-year-old woke up the other night and she said, "Mom, I had this dream and there were guns and as a mom, I have to tell her that she is safe, that I am doing everything I can to keep her safe."
You have mental health issues everywhere, but when you pair those with absolute chaos in terms of gun legislation, this is what you get. And it's just intolerable.
With gun gridlock in Washington, states are going their own way. This week, Washington state became the 10th to ban assault weapons. At the same time, others are rolling back restrictions. Florida, now the latest state to allow permitless concealed carry, the 26th state to do so. And in Tennessee, despite the Nashville school shooting last month, representatives just passed a law protecting gun manufacturers against lawsuits. The states with the weakest gun laws have gun death rates that are 3 times higher than states with strong restrictions. And as gun sales have spiked, so have gun homicides, says Cassandra Crafasi, who analyzes gun data at Johns Hopkins University. What is driving this increase in shootings?
We have seen record increases in gun purchasing that began with the COVID-19 pandemic. We're also seeing increases in fear-based marketing of firearms, as well as stoking fears of political violence, social violence, racially motivated violence.
I think about it every day. I drop my children off at school.
Every day?
Every single day.
Oh,
Every day I say I love you, and I pray it. I'm not exaggerating. I pray it's not the last time I see you.
Thanks to those moms for sharing their stories. Still ahead on the CBS Weekend News, it is the first major American city to allow the broadcast of the Muslim call to prayer around the clock. We'll tell you where next.
Allah.
milestones like this may start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too. For most people, HPV clears on its own, but for others, it can cause certain cancers later in life. Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next. Starting at age 9, talk to your child's doctor about HPV vaccination.
Today in Pakistan, hundreds of thousands of the faithful gathered in Karachi to mark the end of Ramadan, the holy month of prayer and fasting, and welcome the Muslim festival of Eid. For American Muslims, there's another reason to celebrate. The city of Minneapolis changed its noise ordinance, now allowing the Islamic call to prayer to be broadcast from speakers year-round 5 times a day. In tonight's Weekend Journal, David Schumann of WCCO reports it is a first for a major U.S. city.
The Muslim call to prayer, recited in here, heard out there.
It is a very simple message to share the greatness of God and to call people to success.
5 times a day, Muslims gather to pray at mosques, but the broadcast for the pre-dawn and nighttime prayers weren't allowed in Minneapolis until now. The city eliminated time constraints from the part of its noise ordinance related to religious worship. In the summer, that means the call could go out as early as 3:30 a.m. and as late as 11 p.m.
Sometimes when you don't hear adhan and you sleep, you cannot wake up and come to the adhan. Now it's clear, like crystal, you hear and you'll be happy to come and pray and join.
Leaders in the Muslim community say only a couple of the city's mosques currently broadcast the call to prayer at all, but more may now start.
We built America on this basic principle of freedom of religion. And so today, actually, it's a victory for our Constitution because our Constitution is for all Americans, not just some Americans.
Dar al-Hidra's imam says he would encourage mosques in neighborhoods where most people are not Muslim to refrain from all 5 calls. For his mosque, he expects this change will attract more people.
What we provide in the mosque is not only for the spiritual, but also we do a lot of other part of the healing too, because we believe for mind, body, and soul.
David Schumann, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Next on the CBS Weekend News, the hills are alive with a rare super bloom. It's not in Austria. We'll tell you where.
Want more from your vitamins? Get more with Nature's Bounty. From the first ever triple action sleep supplement to daily digestive support to more wellness solutions every day. Get more with Nature's Bounty.
Family is just very important. She's my sister, and we depend on each other a lot.
She's the rock of the family. She's the person who holds everything together.
It's a battle, you know, I'm gonna be there.
Keytruda and chemotherapy, been treating my cancer with 2 different types of medicine.
In a clinical trial, Keytruda and chemotherapy was proven to help people live longer than chemotherapy alone. Keytruda is used to treat more patients with advanced lung cancer than any other immunotherapy. Keytruda may be used with certain chemotherapies as your first treatment. If you have advanced non-squamous, non-small cell lung cancer and you do not have an abnormal EGFR or ALK gene. Keytruda can cause your immune system to attack healthy parts of your body during or after treatment. This may be severe and lead to death. See your doctor right away if you have cough, shortness of breath, chest pain, diarrhea, severe stomach pain, severe nausea or vomiting, headache, light sensitivity, eye problems, irregular heartbeat, extreme tiredness, constipation, dizziness or fainting, changes in appetite, thirst or urine, confusion, memory problems, muscle pain or weakness, fever, rash, itching or flushing. There may be other side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions, including immune system problems. If you've had or plan to have an organ or stem cell transplant, receive chest radiation, or have a nervous system problem.
It feels good to be here for them.
Living longer is possible. It's true. Keytruda from Merck. Ask your doctor about Keytruda.
You keep dog food in the fridge?
It's not dog food, it's fresh pet. Real meat, real veggies.
For a dog?
For Hank.
Whatever her name is, it's just wrong.
Mom?
You're so lucky you're single.
For back pain, I've always been a take 2 and call in the morning guy. But my new doctor recommended Salonpas. Without another pill upsetting my stomach, I get powerful, effective, and safe relief. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power, brings you the world's first power load string trimmer with Line IQ. So smart, it loads the line automatically. With Line IQ, there's no bumping, so you can work faster. Exclusively at Lowe's, Ace, and Ego authorized dealers.
Finally tonight, despite years of extreme drought, parts of the West are awash in color as wildflowers erupt from the earth. CBS's Danya Backus has more on the rare super bloom.
From the hillsides of California to the deserts of Arizona, Mother Nature is putting on a show.
The hills are completely painted with flowers, and I really love that.
Orange, yellow, and purple wildflowers, creating what's known as a super bloom, are blanketing fields and valleys, a sight so spectacular, thousands are flocking to capture it.
The glory of everything here, everything blooming, and the sun is shining down today, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
The record amount of rain and snow that pummeled California at the beginning of the year not only helped to ease a dire 3-year drought, it also made conditions right for millions of dormant seeds.
This is like once in a decade bloom that happens, and we're driving in here from San Francisco to see this place. This is just wild. I mean, it's just beautiful.
The explosion of flowers is so vibrant, some areas can be seen from space.
It's nature at its best, so you have to seize the moment while it's here and go look at it.
The last big bloom was 2019. That's when parks and trails in California and Arizona saw a massive influx of visitors. Officials expect this year to be no different. One California city has closed its canyon to avoid chaos and preserve the flowers.
People of Disneyland-sized crowds were seeking to experience nature. They trampled the very habitat that they placed so high in regard and sought to enjoy.
Experts are asking visitors to enjoy by looking, not touching, so they don't doom the bloom. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Our planet's so beautiful. Perfect story for Earth Day. That is the CBS Weekend News for this Saturday. Tomorrow on Sunday morning, scientists bring back creatures long extinct. Then, Face the Nation's guests include former Vice President Mike Pence, Delaware Senator Chris Coons, and Kansas City, Missouri Mayor Quentin Lucas. For now, I'm Adriana Diaz in Chicago. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this weekend.
Good evening and thank you for watching News 8 Now this weekend. I'm Emily Haugen. The rising waters of the Mississippi continue to impact our area, and this just in, the town of Campbell says some are voluntarily leaving their homes in low-lying areas as floodwaters rise. Bainbridge and Sparebeck streets are closed to traffic, and Campbell officials are asking non-locals to restrict their travel to French Island. Plus, the National Weather Service is now projecting the river at Prairie du Chien to reach 23.7 feet by next Saturday. City officials said in a release that Congressman Derek Van Orden was taken by boat to see the damage already caused on St. Ferial Island. People in the city can take shelter at Hoffman Recreational Center. Tourist Information Center as well. People are encouraged not to travel to St. Ferial Island. The island and a number of streets are currently closed due to flooding down there. So if you plan to evacuate your home, the city asks you contact Crawford County Emergency at 608-326-0266. That number's on your screen, as well as your gas and electric companies. Bottled water is also available at Hoffman and the Tourist Information Center. Sandbags are available at the corner of East Washington Street and North Ohio Street. The city's also looking for volunteers to help place sandbags around the county. So if you can help, call that number above.
Yeah, we still continue to watch the flooded areas here along the Mississippi River. So I just want to give you an update here on some of the flood river levels here across the area, mainly along the Mississippi Sea, Wabasha, Winona, La Crosse, and Trempealeau. Just some of those locations along the Mississippi River that are expected to crest on the major flooding side here as we head into next week. In fact, as we head into Winona there, you can see it will crest at 19.2 feet as we head into April 26th of next week. So lots of flooding going on there. Meanwhile, the satellite and radar picture showing this very broad area of low pressure that continues to spin across the Great Lakes region, you can see we're on the wraparound effects of the system. Yesterday we had a rain, a little bit of snow, and today kind of the same thing, also mixed in with a little bit of some graupel, which kind of look like those little Dippin' Dots here, if you're familiar with those that kind of fall. And I know Emily's laughing over there. She likes Dippin' Dots, I guess, right? But we got some scattered showers here just off to the east of us right now. And meanwhile, other than that, it was pretty gusty out there. We saw gusts up to nearly 30 miles an hour in some spots. La Crosse just shy of that 30-mile-per-hour gust today. So any precipitation was quickly moving off towards the east, and we can see our high temperatures today. We're into those low to mid 40s. A high today of La Crosse of 45 today. And for your 8 to 8 forecast, we're going to be looking at those cloudy skies. A few showers are possible early, and also mixed in with a few snow flurries too. And then we start to clear as we head towards the later morning hours tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Derek. Well, it was a frantic Friday night for families at Minnesota's Mall of America. Heavily armed officers swarmed one of the parking lots after someone spotted a man with a shotgun. Shoppers huddled inside the mall while people inside a nearby circus were told to stay quiet. Alan Henry reports.
You know, it's Friday night. Everyone wanted to go see the circus.
And that's what families were trying to do Friday afternoon when the show was stopped before it even started.
It was delayed about 15 minutes, and then the main circus guy came out and he was like, sorry about the delay. But then he got pulled away by a police officer. 2 minutes later, came back and was like, everyone needs to evacuate slowly, quietly.
As families were evacuated from the big top, they weren't told why, just to be quiet.
Mixed feelings because we're not really sure what's going on. So we just had to check social media to see what was the reason.
This was the reason. An hours-long police standoff in the parking lot with a man carrying a long gun. Snipers, SWAT teams, and armored vehicles were all called in.
Especially with everything going on, I mean, there's shootings every day and you just don't know what's going to happen. And so, you know, anxious thoughts in your mind just starts to wander like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? We're at Mall of America. It's a big place.
While they're happy to be safe, families were frustrated that their night out was ruined.
It's just disappointing and heartbreaking to think that this is kind of like an everyday occurrence nowadays, which, you know, it's just another thing that's happening in the world and not being able to enjoy the Friday night circus. So
very disappointing that we have to deal with this situation. Yeah, because it's family event and some crazy person decides to ruin it all. But I just hope everybody's going to be safe.
So police were able to take the suspect into custody without anybody getting injured. And a funeral was held today in Glenwood, Minnesota for a deputy who was killed in the line of duty. Mourners filled Minnewaska Area High School wall to pay their respects and honor the life of Deputy Josh Owen. Owen was shot while responding to a call about a domestic violence incident on April 15th and later died from his injuries at the hospital. The Pope County Police Department reports the suspect resisted arrest and fired at the responding officers, who returned fire and fatally shot the suspect. 2 other officers also sustained injuries and are expected to recover. Well, locally, Western Technical College honored its past graduates today. Students who graduated from Western's Fall 2021, Spring 2022, and Summer 2022 terms walked the stage at commencement today. Over 1,000 students were honored. So if one of your loved ones graduated and you missed today's commencement ceremony, it is available on YouTube. We'll post the link on our website. That is news8000.com.